Welcome back to Digger Detecting, everybody. Welcome also to a stunning Friday out in a park. And look, this is a bit of a random park that we're going to try out today. I'm not too sure what we're going to find. However, I have the Minelab Manticore in hand, a fantastic coin relic treasure hunting machine. And we're going to make our way through this park, trying to grid back and forth, make our way over to the Prado over there, which is currently sitting beside the creek. Now, the creeks are a great place to go hunting for coins and relics, and we have done near the creek before, and we found plenty of coins and relics, including ramhead shillings, florins, scout badges. We've got the scout hall sitting over off to the left hand side there, but today I want to start in the back of the park here. Reason being is because I've never ever done it before. So anybody walking through here over the last 150 years may have dropped something, and we're going to try and find it, locate it, as said, with the Minelab Manticore, and then we'll finish up over at the creek. Let's stretch him out, let's make a start. Rightio, well, our first decent find rings in at a 50, and from what I can see, or what I can presume, that is a little toy car wheel, a wheelie, 6 spokes there, and you can see maybe where a rubber wheel would have went round, or maybe it didn't have a rubber wheel, but it sort of ran around on that leading edge, and maybe where a little steel axle would have come out from the center there, joining over to the other wheel, and look, it would have been off a little toy car. Sometimes you can be confused, and sometimes they can be little pulleys off little machines, little engines, what have you, but in this case I do believe that is a little toy car wheel, and it sort of makes sense too. As I said, we're hunting off the back of the backyard properties there, the houses in front of us, so I can just imagine, you know, kids coming down the hill here, running down the hill and playing with their toy cars and cap guns and marbles, and look, playing chasey and everything like that. So very interesting first little find. It rang up nice, a nice 50 on the Minelab Manticore, putting a nice dot on that conductivity line straight through the middle of the screen, so I knew it was a good target to dig. Let's continue on, just clean this hole up a little bit, and let's see what else we can find. Alright, well, we've done it. About 20 minutes into our first hunt with the Minelab Manticore at this park, and bingo, we've got our first coin. Now, I did not show it coming out, I did not show the target ID number. It was a 61, 62, jumping around a little bit, and it wasn't actually painting a proper, perfect dot on that 2D mapping conductivity line, which generally is the case for coins and rings, what have you. But look, we dug it out quickly, and bingo, out pops a nice full penny. Beautiful old penny. Bit crusty, we probably can't get a date off it, but it's beautiful nonetheless, because it is our first coin within 20 minutes at this park with the Ripper Minelab Manticore. So pretty exciting. And just looking here, we've got a massive big tree in front of us, and that is what dragged me over here, because first we went around this little tiny spotted gum, we went around the next gum tree, we went around that sort of blackwood tree or whatever it is there, and we went around the next gum tree, and then bingo, coming over here, biggest tree in the park, we find our first coin. So a bit of a key indicator to keep in mind. You know, you look for the old trees because it shows the age, it shows the timeline, and it also indicates that there could have been activity around these trees, people sheltering from the sun, people sheltering from the rain, even kids climbing up and down the trees, maybe building cubby houses or playing around them. So first coin in the pouch with a couple of bits of rubbish included. Let's keep going and let's see what else we can find. Rightio, well, next signal, and wouldn't you believe it, it's around the back of the tree. So where we just got that penny was around the other side, and look out, another nice signal, and I don't know how well you can see there, but he's painting that beautiful little dot right on that conductivity line. Swing back over and give you another look, and we've got 3 bars of depth, and 74, 75, 80, 81, that could be another penny, or it could be a stash of gold sovereigns, or it could be an old can. But when you're going to pinpoint there, on any coin relic machine, the louder it screams and the more it screams generally indicates the bigger the target. You sort of use your coil like a paintbrush, what I tell people, and if it's really screaming off and you can move your coil around in a lot of, you know, in a huge area, it generally indicates a huge target or a lot bigger target. And if you think the size of a coin, well, it's not very big, is it? So if the coil's sort of going off in pinpoint there and it's sort of short and sharp and direct, generally chances are indicates a smaller item, such as a coin. And I'm hoping that's what we're going to get for this one. The pinpoint is just hitting him. And you'll have to excuse me because, look, it's been a while since I've done coin relic hunts. And lately with everything going on, I just have not been able to get out into the goldfields. I'm really, really missing it. In the last probably, 3 months nearly, I've been to the goldfields once. So I'm really, really missing the gold. I will get back there very soon, hopefully. Just time constraints at the moment, and with the coin relics, I mean, you're talking all the time and explaining things, and because I haven't done it for so long, I must admit I feel like I'm a little bit rusty. not in the fact of finding coins and items. There we go, there's another one. But just fluently talking. So if I'm mucking up my words, just go easy on me, won't you? So we got a 2-cent coin for that one. Isn't that funny? Old penny around the back there, and then we've got a 2-cent coin here, which is probably dated around the 1980s, 1970s, but just goes to show the age difference. So we'll just check for no more. A stash of 1 and 2 cent coins. So wouldn't that be nice? Old coin stash, hoard of coins. There was actually a post there I seen from Minelab this week, and there was a couple of people there, I should say, who found 17, get that, 17 gold sovereigns out in the gold fields. Isn't that incredible? 17 full gold sovereigns. Now generally a gold sovereign, full gold sovereign, especially today, can be valued anywhere between $700 to $1,000, probably even more now with the gold price, and that's not taking into account that it could be a key date and a very, very collectible coin at that. But 17 gold sovereigns, well, full sovereigns, and they're valued around $1,000 each. You can certainly do the maths, and it's not about the money, but just what a fantastic find. 17 gold sovereigns, and I can imagine that look, some miner may have buried them. He may have thought to come back to that area and collect them, and maybe he didn't get a chance. Maybe he got sick, maybe he got unwell, or maybe, well, maybe he got robbed of his fortune, or maybe he ended up in jail, who knows. But just all guessing there, but the imagination goes crazy as to how they got there, and just sitting there for 100, 150 years plus for some prospector to come along and find, or a couple of prospectors to come along and find, I think is just fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Let's continue on, go past where old Penny was there, and let's see if we can find any more. So next target, and once again we're not too far away from that big beautiful tree that's producing the coins, and we'll just go over him. Where is he? We've lost him. It was a 50, 51, 52. Oh, we've lost him. What's going on? We're in pinpoint, that's what's happening. It's back here somewhere. As I said, I'm a little bit rusty, so go easy on me. I'm normally on a gold machine for the last 12 months, and well, I'm probably a little bit rusty on that as well, but we'll get there. It's all just trying to get back to a bit of normality at the moment, and that's okay too. So 52, 53, painting that nice little dot on the 2D mapping screen once again, right on that conductivity line, which is sort of the targets that I go after. I'm going off tone, I'm going off target ID range, the number range, and I'm going off that 2D mapping screen. And that's where I find the Minelab Manticore really stands out for me. I go to grab the Equinox or the Elite or the X-Terra, what have you, and end up opting for the Minelab Manticore because you've just got that 3 points of target ID. You've got the sound when the coil runs over it, which I'm always listening for the sound. You've got the target ID number, as I said, and then you've got the 2D mapping screen indicating whether it's going to be non-ferrous or ferrous, whether it falls on that conductivity line or below or above. So this one's quite a deep target, but considering what we found around this tree, and we're venturing out from the outskirts of it now, but 4 bars of depth, and considering what we found around this tree, well, I'm going to dig down and I'm going to find out what this is too. Let's have a look. Rightio, we've got him located down in the hole with the pinpointer. We've dug right down onto him. He's not actually as deep as what I presumed he would be. 4 bars of depth, you'd think he'd be right down. And I dug a hole there before, and well, it was probably well over the depth of the pinpointer. So similar range in depth too, but this one's definitely a nice deep one. And it's a key. Look at that, broken key. How cool is that? It's actually got a bit of a pink enameling on it. So it doesn't look to be too old, because they weren't doing, oh, maybe it's just pink nail polish. Maybe someone painted it pink so they could help ID which key on the key ring it was. I know I do that too. Mark on the key ring what sort of key it is, so I know if it's the shed door, the back door, the front door, the side door, the car door. Oh dear, there we go, broken off anyway. We're not going to be able to do anything with that. Probably why it was discarded too. Someone probably thought, well, it's no good anymore, I'll just throw it away. So there's no more down in the hole. Let's put him in the pouch, let's move on. I'm just noticing the sun's really coming out now. The Prado is sitting over there baking in the sun. So it's going to be nice and warm when I jump in it later. There's nothing like a nice warm car to jump into, because today's breeze, well, it looks like a sunny day, but it is actually quite cold. So moving on from the key, let's see what else we can get. I'm just sitting here digging this hole after this next target, and I hear something flapping around in the grass and the water behind me. What is it? Where are you? What am I hearing? Oh, it's little ducks. That's wet too. Did you see that? The little duck just went. See if we can find him. Oh, maybe not. Look how wet it is. There's little ducks in the grass here. How cool is that? I can hear them just. Where's the mum? I seen the mum stick her head up. Oh, there's the mum. I just scared the mum. Sorry, mum. Oh, it's so cool. So there's little ducks hiding around those reeds there, in this little watery, swampy, little stinky, smelly area. That's really cool. I'm just going to say too, look, with everything going on, I still want to be putting out videos every week for you guys. I mean, today is a Friday. Here we are, 12:11, just gone past lunch, and I'm madly trying to shoot this video. I've got to then get home and edit and upload it, and that can take, well, hours and hours and hours. So, as I said before, please forgive me if I'm a little bit rusty. Please forgive me if things seem like they're a little bit rushed or just not the same at the moment in my videos, in my content. We will get back to some sort of normality. I just wanted to say too, thank you for everybody supporting and sticking with me. You know, life throws a bit of a curveball at you at times, and that's okay. It's just getting through it and moving on the best you can. And that's what we're doing. But yeah, look, without you guys' support and helping, you know, lovely messages, kind phone calls and support and everything going on, look, it would be a lot harder. I'm certain that I'd still get through it, but it would be a lot more of a battle. So I cannot thank everybody watching enough and supporting the Digger Detecting channel. I mean, we've been running for nearly 10 years now, and look, it's a lot, and I'll never, ever, ever let that go. You know, Digger Detecting was never going to go anywhere, will never go anywhere. It's nothing's going to change. But you've just got to bear with me as we work through what we're working through. And with that too, I'd just like to say, you know, with things being a little bit different of late, I'd like to say for anybody else going through challenges or trials or tribulations in life, just remember it's okay not to wake up okay every day. It's okay not to be okay. I mean, I put a lot of a front on. I sort of feel like I've got to at times, you know, putting myself out there as I do in the public space and public eye. I do put a bit of a front on, but I also wear my heart on my sleeve, and well, reality is reality too, isn't it? So, and it's hard to put a front on in video when you're just not okay probably all the time. So I'm not going to sit there and say we're all sweet and we're all happy and everything's okay when it's always, well, not always not. But that's okay too. And look, I just wanted to say for anybody watching, not only thank you, but if you are facing anything in life, you know, trials, tribulations, sadness, loss, sickness, anything like that, reach out to the referral services that are on help. There if you need, and use them well. That's what they're there for, and they're more than happy to help. I mean, in the last months I've been in touch with a lot of different services, and a lot of different services have been in touch with me. And look, you know, I'll just say it as a man, as a guy, and I'm not trying to be you know, stereotype here or anything like that, or be sexist in any way, gender specific, but you kind of feel like, you know, I'm tough, I don't need any of that, and you know, I can't show any of that. Well, you can. It's okay to show emotion. It's okay to have your heart on your sleeve, and it's okay to reach out for help. And if you need to, do so. Because at the end of the day, look, I've had a lot of people in my life that I've lost due to not reaching out for that help and not getting the help that they need. And I certainly won't be doing that. I certainly will be reaching out for the services that I require, and I certainly will be using them as I require them. And I encourage everybody to do the same thing that needs them. And I'm not being gender specific here, but talking from myself. You know, it's okay as a man not to be always okay. So you've just got to do the best you can, buckle up your boots every day, get out there and enjoy something that you absolutely love. And that is, for me, metal detecting and sharing videos and talking behind the camera, in front of the camera. Most of my videos are behind the camera, but you know what I mean. That's my passion. My passion is my family, my two sons, my boys, my you know, direct family, my mum, my dad, my sisters, my siblings, my cousins, my uncles, my aunties. Like, you know, use the people that are surrounding you and love you to support you. And if you don't have all that support, reach out for the support that you need. And there is so many services. Beyond Blue, Respect Australia, Relationships Advice Online, Orange Door. There is so many services that you can reach out and use when needed. And I encourage anybody to use them as needed. And as I said, it's okay not to always be okay. So don't think I'm not okay and that's not okay. No, that's not right. It's okay not to always feel okay. We're all human and we all have feelings. And look, at the end of the day, sometimes those things can get the best of you or overwhelm you. And as I said, that's where you might need that little bit of help. And like myself, I've needed that bit of help, and well, I've used it, and I'm not afraid or shy to say that. I mean, that just is what it is. Life throws a curveball at you, and you've got to use the help that's provided. And with that too, I'll just quickly say that if anybody needs anything from me, look, support services or advice, or just to have a chat, or want to come out for a detect, message me, reach out to me. I'd be most happy. You know, everybody's got their things that they go through, and everybody needs that little bit of help. And whatever that help sort of looks like, as I said, if I could be one of those people to help you, reach out to me. I'll be most happy to. Let's keep going. And well, those ducks are cool, and if I spot them again, I'll show you. But remember, most importantly, as I said, it's okay not to always be okay. Let's keep going. Alright, well, not too far away from where we just shot that last clip, where we annoyed mother duck and mother duck flew off, and where we tried to see the babies. And on that last target, you will have noticed we just got rust. I don't know really what was going on. It wasn't about what we get, or it isn't about what we get here today, as I said. It's about the enjoyment of it all. And just trying to, well, get out and give myself a bit of peace of mind. As I said, it's okay not to be okay. This target here, I'm pretty certain it's not going to be a coin. 76, 74 on the conductivity line once again. But I don't know, it seems big to me. It seems huge, humongous, it does. Let's just have a look with a pinpointer, because that can often paint a bit of a picture. And once again, I'm not trying to rehash or anything, but thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much. Text messages and phone calls, and look, it's been overwhelming. I will say too, with that, I just can't find enough time in a day to get back to everybody, and I mean, that makes me feel guilty in myself that I can't reach back out to everybody that's reached out to me. But please trust me when I say this, I really, really, really do appreciate everybody watching and supporting and commenting, and just the love shown, the love shared. It's what gets you through from morning to night. So Kirk's soft drink, that will also help you get through. Bit of energy there. Kirk's lemonade, probably, no doubt. And I do remember these bottles. They still sell them, in actual fact. I don't buy them, but I do remember going to a neighbour's house when I was a kid, and she was an old Italian lady, Joanna her name was, and she would often bust out the Kirk's soft drink, you know, or the cotties. She had cotties as well, I remember, and they used to keep it all in the shed. So every time she'd bust it out, it was beautiful, but it was never cold, because it was all just sitting in the shed. But she used to have so many bottles of soft drink in the shed there, and as kids, you know, she'd say, "You come and you eat and you drink, and you know, what do your kids want to drink?" And she didn't talk like that properly, but look, she always used to provide lemonade, and I can't remember what they're called, but like bread sticks with like sugar all over them, powdered sugar, coated sugar. So nice. And little things like that, it sticks with you and you remember. And that's one thing I remember. As soon as I see the Kirks or the Cotties, I always think of the old Italian lady down the road, Joanna. Let's keep going and let's find something else cool. Alright, well, this is our last dig in and around the trees here. We've done pretty well, I feel. We got around those first couple of trees, the little ones. We moved on to the bigger tree there. We got the big penny on the front, and we got the little 2-cent coin around the back. We then sort of hummed around these last couple of trees here, and we seen mother duck and scared mother duck away, and just explained a few things there. And I said a big thank you. But then just thinking to myself, why haven't I actually got up towards these backyards? And one thing I am spotting there is the big old beautiful peppercorn tree. Now, the peppercorn trees are not native to Australia. They never have been, never were, and they were all planted by early settlers or a bit later on as they went. There's a nice paperbark tree too. But the peppercorn trees there, they were planted generally around the stables or the backyards, or even around the houses or dairies, to try and keep the flies down. The natural little peppercorn berries that come off the trees there. They are a natural deterrent for flies. They put out a pungent smell and, well, the flies don't like them. So good way to keep the flies down around the house or the dairy or the stables, what have you. And as soon as I spotted that tree, which I hadn't spotted it there this morning, I thought, what am I doing? Why am I down here when I could be up there? So this is our last target down on the flat ground. And we're going to move up there to that tree. And you might feel a little bit weird humming around someone's backyard property fence line. But then again, we are in a public park. So look, dig neat, dig clean, take your rubbish with you. I really don't see the problem. And if they come out to say good day, well, show them what you're finding, show them what you found. And who knows, they may even let you in their backyard. And looking here, from what I can see, without being, snooping, from what I can just visually see sitting here and walking around today, that looks to me like one of the oldest houses. It actually looks like there's an old stable there with the cladded weatherboards there on the shed, or the stables I should say. But that there looks like one of the oldest houses on this run, and it probably isn't. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the oldest house still existing, I should say. Maybe these other houses surrounding it though have been replaced. But well, that peppercorn tree really shows some age, probably 100+ years. So it is an interesting area to hunt, and we will be getting up there and hunting in a minute. What's with all these bottle tops with broken glass in them? It's good to pick them up. And this one's not a Kirk's, but it's also very sharp and dangerous, and a good reason why you should always wear gloves. You just never know what's going to come out of the hole. You never know what you've got to handle or touch. So there, look, let's fill this hole in, and we'll get up to that peppercorn tree, and I think that's where we'll make our next start. Dig some more holes. Well, we're making our way up to the peppercorn tree, as I said. I'm not going to go too close now just yet. I've just seen someone sitting there enjoying the sun and soaking up the sunshine, enjoying the day just like I am. We've got our next find though, not very deep. He was just sort of sitting in the plug like that. And I'm presuming it's an old padlock by looks. Maybe busted out. If I'm wrong, be sure to drop a comment and let me know. There's nothing on the back of it. And it doesn't really look like brass to me. It looks like maybe lead. Let's just have a bit of a scratch up like I showed Dominic there the other week. Scratch the item on the digger. Yeah, that's lead, it is. So I don't think it's a padlock now. A lead padlock, that wouldn't last very long. It's got Hero written on the front. How cool is that? So as I said, we will make our way up towards the peppercorn tree, up towards the back fences of these properties, but we're not going to go disturbing anybody. That's the last thing I want to do. And just like me out here today, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the park here, enjoying a bit of metal detecting, I certainly don't want to go disturbing someone else with their enjoyment whilst they're soaking up the sun and look, taking in the day just like I am. So let's keep going, and let's just sort of venture up a little bit. You can see the fence there. Let's venture up a little bit, but look, hopefully they come out and say good day and, hey young fella, what you up to? What are you doing? What are you finding? I'll be most happy to talk to them and show them. And that's how you just, oh, we've got another target. That's how you make friends too. And as I said, possibly gain permissions for future properties. And by the looks of it, it's quite an old property. Let's dig this one out as well. Let's just see what we've got. And it's such a beautiful day today. I can certainly see why they're sitting out on their back veranda. They've probably been watching me for the last couple of hours and thinking, oh, what a lovely recreational activity. Maybe I'll go buy a detector and take it up myself. So there we go, a can on that one. And as I said, it does not matter what we're finding here today. It's really good, some people get a bit disheartened when they're just finding rubbish, but to me, I always think of the other side of things. You're cleaning up these areas. Like, that shouldn't be here. There's no need for it to be in the ground. And every bit of rubbish that you dig and take away, well, it's every little bit of rubbish left in the ground that shouldn't be there. So I don't ever get disheartened. Just fill the hole in, think to myself, well, it's another bit of rubbish discarded, because all of everything I find, I take home, I sort, I scrap, and I discard. So target's clear, ground's clear, let's move on. Well, would you look at that, eh? We've got our first dollar. How awesome. 66 on the Minelab Manticore. I've just scraped back this loose leaf litter coming off the tree there, and bingo, it's a fresh drop. Well, relatively fresh drop. It's a $1 kangaroo coin. Let's see what year it is. 2004. Winning we are. First dollar coin. I'm not out here to find really gold coins. If I was, I'd go to a local recreation reserve where most of them are dropped as people are watching the football or cricket. But yeah, that's pretty cool. First $1 coin. And something about the $1 coins I always check for, which we'll just wipe this one a little bit more, is the Spuroo, or the kangaroo with the double head. I think there's a couple of different era coins there, but that top kangaroo up the top there, the very, very top one, generally what will happen is you'll see a little cud, what they call a cud, C-U-D, and it'll generally have like a double ear, or what they call a spew-roo, and it's just basically a bit of an error coin, something that should never have entered circulation, and they can be, well, look, worth more than $1 anyway, worth more than face value. So pretty cool, a little fresh drop dollar. Let's see what else we can get. So this one is a nice target once again, only a couple of feet away from the dollar coin there. Go back out of pinpoint because you can't hear him otherwise. And we've got an 89 and a 90, and once again painting that perfect little round dot on that conductivity line. You probably can't even see the screen. Let's turn around this way. And if that person and I lock eyes together, if I look up and lock eyes together, I'm just going to give them a friendly neighbourhood wave. Hello there, neighbour. I'm not their neighbour, but that's what I'll do. Just see if I can initiate a bit of contact. And as I said, sometimes you can get lucky depending on what the person's like. Some people are not always as intrigued to detecting as what others are. But sometimes people come down and they go, you know, what are you finding, or how are you going? I certainly remember a lady there years ago. Her name was Rosemary, and a few people will know this story, but I was detecting in a local recreation reserve in town here, and she just was out for a morning walk, and she come over and said g'day to me, and she said, mate, I'm really intrigued as to what you're doing and what you're finding. Didn't need the pinpointer on that one. Another bit of rubbish. And you know, I got talking to Rosemary there and showed her a few coins, florins, sixpence, threepence, stuff that I'd found, some pennies, what have you, around the rec reserve. And she goes, oh well, she was at an age where she remembered using them as a little girl herself with her mother. And well, long story short, she asked me, could your detector find a bit of silverware that me and my mum had discarded alongside a riverbank back in the day when she was a little girl. She said, if you could, I'd love to take you down there to the little town, and hopefully you could find it, because she said, as a little girl, I remember throwing it out with my mother, and she said, I always wanted to keep a little bit of it, but mum didn't let me. And she said, no doubt it's still down there, and if your detector could find any of it, I'd love for you to have a go. Well, what happened after that was a bit sad. We never got the opportunity to go down there with Rosemary, because she sadly passed away, and you know, ironically what had happened is about 6 months time gap had happened before Rosemary and I had actually teed up to go down to this riverbank and find her lost silverware. And just on the Friday when she rang me and said, you know, my husband and I have been speaking, we'd really like to go down and find it. I've got no doctor's appointments next week. Could we tee up for the Monday coming? You know, that was on the Friday she called me. Sadly, over that weekend she passed away. So it's one that always sticks with me. And we never got that opportunity to do so. Her daughter still lives in town here, and I have touched base with her daughter. Kelly, her name is, and Kelly has said that, you know, look, I'd love nothing more, because she was the one that rang me and told me that, you know, sadly Monday won't be happening, Luke, because Mum has just passed away over the weekend. But you know, Kelly has said to me in the past, like, I'd love to tee up with you and possibly go down there and try and find my mum's lost silverware that she discarded with her mother, if that all makes sense. It's a hard story, and one, as I said, that always sticks with me. And I still haven't had that opportunity yet to do that, and I'd love to tee it up in future. Unfortunately, she runs a business and you know, has a very busy life, and well, with everything going on in my life at the moment, like, it's just something that sits in the back of my mind, but I have not teed up. But look, hopefully one day we will get that opportunity, and when I do, if I do, I'll be certain to film it, because what a story, and I'd love to complete that process for Kelly, her daughter, and anything found will be sure to pass on, and she'll be able to keep and cherish forever. See what else we can grab. Like that one. Nice target. Well, nice target, all right. Look at this. We've got an old door lock surround. I think that's what it is, or maybe off a suitcase. Bit of beautiful old brass ornate piece nonetheless. I just love these. Look at the character and detail with it. I would presume, can't talk properly, I would presume that is off a suitcase, so maybe I'm wrong. It's just a lovely old brass ornate piece, so I love finding these pieces. They certainly won't be discarded, and what you can do with these pieces is put them in a rotary tumbler, mixed in with some stones or some light grade material, and it cleans them up just absolutely perfect. So that's a piece that I won't be discarding in future. That is a piece that will definitely be getting cleaned and put on display. Beautiful. I sort of thought so. Next dig here, a bit of rubbish once again, and that's okay. As I said, I don't get disheartened by the rubbish. What I think's really cool though in this next dig is look at this big old piece of tile or glass. There's actually another little bit there. And I presume there's a lot of rubbish up around the back of these houses, because back in the day what would have happened was a lot of it would have been discarded and dumped at the back of the properties. Remember, there was no red, green and yellow bin collection back in the day. But that there, I mean, look how thick it is. That there is a beautiful old piece of tile. It won't be off a plate or a cup or a bottle. That is part of a tile. So someone's probably walked over this for 100+ years, and renovations have taken place. And then they've just dumped and discarded a lot of it out the back here. So we'll take the bit of rubbish, we'll take the tile with us as well. That doesn't belong in the ground, and it's also very, very cool. And look, you can do mosaic patterns with this. I actually know a lady, Kim, who runs turquoise tides. Geez, I always struggle saying that word. Turquoise tides, and I'll throw a bit of a link up there so you can check out on Instagram. But repurposes a lot of this glass and bottles and broken pottery to make into pendants and necklaces and just beautiful, beautiful pieces. So go forward, check out Kim's page, Turquoise Tides. I always struggle saying it. Turquoise Tides. I should really practice that. But you'll be able to see there what Kim does, and look, just fascinating. I love the fact that she repurposes this old broken crockery and pottery, and look, into beautiful pendants, as I said. So just lovely. Well, this back area is absolutely loaded. It is. I cannot get over how many targets there are up here, but then again, as I said, a rubbish discarding down the back of the houses, well, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? This is another beautiful ornate brass piece, and well, I'm seeing it for the first time ever as well. So in my mind, I'm sort of racing, thinking, what is it, what is it, what is it? So I can explain it, but I have actually no idea. It doesn't look like it's broken off anything, or maybe right there it is, but it looks like it's incomplete to me. Looks like there would have been more to it. So maybe a duplicate piece on the other side, maybe off a bedroom wardrobe or a bed, or maybe a door, or look, I'm really not sure. I can't see any pinholes in it, or mounting plates, mounting pins I should say, but it is definitely broken at the top there. You can just see that break there. Everything else though looks complete, and it's got that sort of little edging detail running right the way around, and right the way around on the top there, so that's definitely not broken. That's just this bit here. So beautiful though. I love these old brass pieces, and the imagination runs wild, as I said, just to well, what it's off. Awesome piece. Well, you'll never guess what we just come across, which is what I was hoping for today, and silver. We haven't got the silver yet, but look what we just got. Part of an old toy cap gun. Well, the handle anyway, and there's still more left down the hole, there is. You see a little cowboy, he's got the gun sticking up in the air. How cool is that? Now, I used to have a complete one of these. I don't know if I've still got a picture. I will try and throw it up if I've got it. I don't think I've got it on this phone though anymore. But look at that amazing old handgun, and look how close we are to the back of the houses here right now. So you can just imagine like a kid coming down here playing with his brothers or sisters, or maybe even shooting the ducks that are down here, but or pretending to anyway. But just such a cool old piece. I'll just try and see if I can find any more. And I just gave a wave too to the person sitting there, and well, I don't know if they've seen me. Oh yeah, look at that, there's some more. I don't know if they see me, but I didn't really get a wave back. So look, we won't do too much more or go too much further up here. I would like to get down beside the river and just do a little hunt. And like I said there a second ago, it's not about disturbing the peace or anything like that. It's just about having a bit of fun here today for myself, and I'm certain they're doing the same, just enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the day, and gathering a little bit of peace for themselves. So we won't disturb that. It's a Raider. How cool's that? Raider cap gun. That is awesome. If I don't have a picture properly, I will throw up a picture from Google, because you can always Google these and find out pretty easy. But that would have went somewhere about there. Raider cap gun. I bet the kid, his mum probably said, "Tea time, Henry." I think his name was Henry. That's what I'm saying anyway. And he probably just ran inside and left his cap gun behind, or maybe even it was broken and it got discarded, because that can happen as well. Let's just stand up. Ooh, it's sketchy. There's so much stuff in the ground. Let me just give you a listen. It's sort of... Oh, we're going to be digging that one. That's sort of what we're picking through though. Alright, that is going to be our last target. So we'll fill this hole in. We'll grab our toy cap gun, Henry's cap gun. And it probably hasn't seen light. You know, a lot of these were very popular back in the 1950s. So it probably hasn't seen the light of day for some, what, 60, 70 years, this cap gun. Henry's Raider cap gun. That's what I'm calling it. Awesome. Let's fill the hole in. Let's keep going. Well, as you've just seen, we've got our last target here, a 92-93 on the Minelab Manticore. This could be like anything. I get really excited when I get those high tones. Sometimes they can be the 44-gallon screw, screw top lids, the barrel bungs I like to call them. But sometimes these can be cow tags, they can be florins, they can also be bicycle bells, like alloy bicycle bells, like what we had there before. But I'm hoping for a beautiful old brass cow tag here. Wouldn't that finish the day off nicely? And as I said, it's not about anything. But gaining a bit of peace of mind out here today. It's not about what I find, but it would be cool. Oh no, we're going to get a can. We're going to get a big old alloy can, I think. Rubbish. Oh, it's a sardine tin. Well, it can also be a sardine tin. I forgot to mention that one. There we go. So lots of rubbish being discarded at the back of the houses here. It's pretty commonplace. I mean, that's just a done thing back in the day. There was no bin driving around collecting people's rubbish. It was literally out of sight, out of mind. You just discarded it, you did. So someone like their sardines, or could be a cat food tin, but generally they're sardine tins. We've got a lot of rubbish too, like, you know, as I said, it's not about what we find. The day is beautiful, the sun's beautiful, and I'm having a great time out on the Minelab Manticore. It doesn't matter what I'm finding, so not a cow tag for that one. And as I said, we're getting down to the river now, just to do a little bit more digging. I'm going to have a drink, because I've got drinks in the car. No doubt they're probably hot by now, but I'll take it anyway. We'll see you down at the river. Well, we finally made it down to the river, and to be honest, I am running out of time. It's 1:30 now. I've still got to get home, do a few jobs, and look, we've got to do a wrap up, and not to mention we've got to edit this video, upload this video, and get it prepared for 7:30 tonight. Now, something I'm just noticing over here, apart from the man riding past on his bike, is the mother and father and their little ducklings. Look at that, we found them. We may not have found too many coins today, but well, how wonderful is that? Mum, dad, and 3 little ducks. We disturbed them from out where they were before, hiding way over there in the back corner, and where we were just currently was up over the back near those houses there. But look at that, we found the ducklings. I just want to get up close and just see them a little bit. They're very, very scared. They can see me coming. So I don't know how close we'll be able to get. I've sort of hunted in this area quite a bit. It's been a great area. There's been lead sinkers, a lot of lead sinkers. There's been a lot of rubbish. There's been toy cars and cap guns and quite a few coins, because as you can imagine, people camping, people fishing, people coming down to the river. I mean, every town, if you look, they're always built on or near a river for the source of water, obviously. So look, it's always important to keep that in mind. Water was such an essential thing back in the day, like it is today. We have water on tap though most of the times today, or pumped to where it's needed to be. But back in the old days, a lot of towns were founded always near a river system, and even roads, you'll notice that they always followed along courses of rivers or lakes or dams, so people had a source of water, not only for people but horses and, you know, camping, as I said, fishing, boil your billy, whatever you need to do. It was always beside a river. You can see this river here, it's not in the cleanest shape now. And I remember as a kid we used to come down here and jump in here, and it wasn't that dirty. I don't remember it being that dirty anyway. But look, it's I probably wouldn't recommend jumping in it now. And there is some very, very deep spots in here. I'll just give you a look. Quite deep actually, in fact. I said we used to swim down here as kids. And I still see kids down here swimming and fishing a lot now today. It's full of carp, very, very big carp too. And sometimes when you come down here, you can often see the carp just sort of floating along or swimming along, or just sort of drifting along, I suppose. But yeah, it's really cool little area. And there's probably yabbies in here too, because I can see the bubbles coming up. So no doubt yabbies buried themselves in the mud. But yeah, look, water sources, it's always a key factor. There's some more bubbles. I don't think it's carp, I think they're yabbies. But there is a lot of carp in here, I know that. Oh, slipping down the bank. Nearly falling into the water we are. So yeah, look, let's do at least 10 minutes. It's 1:32 right now. 10 minutes, I mean probably 20 minutes, but just to see if we can pick up a coin. We'll just sort of work around this bank, around the bank edge. We won't try and fall into the river if we can help it. But even on the down slopes into the river, that would be a great place to hunt. Bit hard with all the grass being so high. But let's just do 10 minutes, 20 I mean, working our way around this riverbank, and well, then we're going to pack it up for the day. First, let's see what we can find. So, not many coins or anything good to find just yet. A lot of rubbish, a lot of low signals. But we do just have this signal here. It's the best one I've heard yet. We've only been going for a couple of minutes, but as I said, we are time poor now. And we best get out of here very soon. So it's a very, very deep signal, this one. It's a nice high signal, exactly what we want to hear and see. And nice sandy soil that we're digging into on the side of the river here. So stick the pinpointer and see if we can grab him quickly. Locate him. If not, I'm going to have to do two hands and go after him. Really go after him. Yeah, I thought so. It's miles deep, it is. In this case too, what I've done, opening the ground up, sometimes it can increase that signal. Alright, so two hands after this one. And we're going to come back and give you a look. And look, hopefully it's a coin. If it's not, that's okay. If it's a bit of rubbish, we can remove it. But look, I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, for that quicksilver here today. Because we've dug a lot of rubbish. A lot of cool stuff, but a lot of rubbish as well. So let's keep going down, see what we get. How cool's that, eh? I kind of knew that was going to be a coin. The reason being is because it was so deep. We had to go through all these roots and tree roots and little grass roots, so I kind of thought that's got to be a coin. It's a rue penny too, 1949. I can just see the date, and we scratched it right near the date. Maybe that's why I can see it. But there we go, rivers, they are always a great source of coins. That is really cool. So not our silver, but once again, as I said, sources of water drag people or draw people to those sources of water, because for so many different reasons. So if you've got a river near you, which I'm sure you do, or you know there's a river near a campground or something, make sure you go and hit it up with a detector if you can. Because I guarantee you'll find a lot of lead sinkers, you'll find a lot of rubbish, but you'll also pluck out the coins. Let's do one more dig and then it's time for a roundup. Well, 2 steps forward and we've got our next target, and the bloke just walking over the bridge there, I don't know whether you can see him, but lovely gentleman. He just walked up and said, "G'day mate, how you going?" I said, "Oh, good, thank you, how you going?" Look, just lovely people around, and you know, it's one thing to keep to yourself, that's fine, but it's another thing, you know, reach out, say good day to people. You know, a lot of people are always happy to say good day, and look, a lot of people are kind and generous and just want to say good day and be happy as well. So that, my friends, is a lead sinker. You can tell by the hole in there. We'd like to hope that it was a musket bullet, but it's two perfectly even with a hole at each end. That's definitely a sinker, and you can actually see the join line or the cast line where it's been moulded together in two halves. So definitely a sinker, and you'll find a lot of those beside a river as well. I can't help myself. One more dig and then we're getting out of here. Okay, so we found our very last target, and as I was saying, lots of carp in this river. Unfortunately, that guy maybe looks like he didn't make it. But our last dig, I'm presuming a 45, 46, I'm presuming it's going to be a bottle top or a pull tab. They generally ring in around the 46, 48 range. Might try and stick the detector up on those branches too. I'm actually presuming for this one, if it's not a pull tab, it's going to be a sinker, another sinker. Because so many people come, yeah, look at that, so many people come down here fishing. You see kids down here all the time. So lots of sinkers, lots of rubbish too, pull tabs, what have you. But those lower numbers generally indicate the lead. And once again, the hole at each end, well, that's a sinker. Different type variety, but another sinker. It's pretty cool. Let's just stick the detector in here, because you've got to remember, these trees wouldn't have been here once upon a time, or wouldn't have been grown like that. So always try and get in around everything the best you can, and just try and indicate where you think those coins might be, or coins and relics. We'll just kick the leaf litter back over that, and right up against the trees you want to go. We've just lost our shovel. I'll throw him in the pouch there behind me. Love me leather pouch, thank you Darren. Darren made me an awesome leather pouch, and Everywhere I go, it goes. So make sure you get your detector right in there. And the targets seem to have stopped now. We've lost targets. More lead sinkers, I'd say. I'm really after those high tones. Like that one there. Let's see if we can get anything else good. Bit of a funny one, that one, 98, 99, generally indicating and not falsing out as such, just rust. So we won't bother with him. And you can pick and choose with the coin relic machines. You know, you've got that target ID separation, discrimination for a reason. And some people say, well, shouldn't you just dig everything? Well, we're not looking for gold, we're looking for coins and relics. So to me, you really want to pick and choose what you're digging. And this one here sounds pretty good. On the conductivity line, bit of a sketchy signal. Oh, it's really going around there. I'd say there's a couple of different targets in this one. Just clear the ground a bit there. And we can hear that's rust. So I'd say leave that target. As I said, pick and choose what you're digging. Especially when you've only got a couple of minutes to go. Right around. You can sort of see what I'm doing and how I'm finding these targets. And yeah, look, I think, oh, there goes the ducks again. I think that might be it for us today, guys. We can always come back and return to this site once again. And I think it's worth doing so, because you know, you come back with different machines, different time, different energy, different different coils, what have you. And you can always find more. That's going to be a can or a coin. Sounds like a big target. This will be our last target then. And can or coin, we're going to remove him from the ground. And big target, all right. It's a Woodstock? No. Black can, I thought it was. It's a Nelson Country Kentucky blended bourbon and cola. So not a coin for that last target. And once again, that is quite okay. We're just going to stab him in half. Try and get all that rubbish or dirt out of it, I should say. And we'll remove it, because how good does it feel to be removing all this rubbish? Especially beside a creek where fish and ducks and baby ducks are. It does not belong. So can for that one. And as I said, that's going to finish us up. We'll get over to the car very, very quickly. I'm going to empty the pouch out, show you what I've got. We've got about probably 30 seconds left now. It's 1:47. So we'll get over to the car and we'll wrap today up. Well, we've had a good day. There it is. That's the end of today's video. 1:50 on the dot. A couple of minutes to walk back to the car, and a couple of minutes just emptying out this rubbish and what have you, and putting it into the container that I've got in the back of my car. You can see there from the last few hunts, we just keep everything, and this container then goes to the shed. And we've got a lead bucket, a brass and scrap metal bucket there where we put all the brass and copper, and then we've got an alloy bucket where we save all the alloy scrap there too. And as I said, we save it, we sort it, and we scrap it. And what's most importantly, we get paid for it, which is awesome. Generally, you can do about $500-600 worth of scrap metal every year just by removing it all from the ground. So, look, don't think, oh, I just go and bin it. If you're going to dig it out, take it home. As I said, save it, sort it, scrap it. And it all goes back into recycling, and it gets recycled into something else, which I think is also very important. We live in such a wasteful society today, and things just get thrown out willy-nilly and so quickly. And, such a materialistic world today, why not recycle everything that we can and make something else out of it? So what you're seeing there today is a couple of brass pieces coming out. I'll zoom you in and go through. A couple of brass ornate pieces coming out. We had the little wheel, die-cast wheel coming out first. The lead sinker, the belt buckle, the part of the toy cap gun, Henry's toy cap gun, I think I said. Really, really cool little Raider toy cap gun. We had the bullet. We had the 2 pennies, the full pennies, the $1 coin, the 2-cent coin. And for anybody interested, that is my digger detecting leather pouch made up by Darren Norman from Working 925 Detecting. It is just fantastic. It hangs on the back of my pouch on my belt. on this pouch here. And look, I just know where it is behind me, put my digger behind me, and it slots in there perfectly every single time. I know it's safe and secure, and it's not going to go anywhere. And Darren kindly even put digger detecting in there for me. Look, he does a fantastic job. Holds my tiger shovel, I should say, in there perfectly. So look, I really hope you enjoyed today, guys. As said, we are getting back to normal. There's a lot still to it, but we are just doing a couple of coin hunts in between, and that's good too, because I really enjoy them, and to be honest, I'd really missed them. So we've got the Minelab Manticore here that we chose to use today. We've also got the Minelab Equinox 900, and as I said, it's a bit of a hard combination to pick. You know, do you pick the Manticore, do you pick the 900? And I get asked that a lot. For me, the 900 and the Manticore are pretty on par with each other, well, really on par with each other, but I just love the fact that the Manticore has that 2D mapping screen, the little conductivity line, and you can visually ID targets that a little bit more with that third point of basically discrimination, or sorry, ID. You've got the sound, the target ID, and then of course the 2D mapping screen. So I hope it's all made sense. If you've got any questions about today's hunt, or if you'd like to know any questions in future, be sure to drop a comment below. I will try my best to get back to everybody. It is also very hard, because as I explained before, well, things are tough and things aren't normal at the moment, but look, it's okay, and we are getting through it. And as I said there before, don't ever be scared or afraid to note that, well, you're not okay. And if you do need help or services or anything, even my help in any way that I can, reach out, because as I said, you know, life throws you a curveball, and it's okay not to be okay, and you've just got to remember that. So anyway, we're wrapping up for today. We've got our rubbish, we've got our digger, we've got our sheath, thanks to Darren, we've got our bullet, we've got our gun, we've got our coins, and look, we've also got a bit more peace and happiness in our life. Thank you to this park, thank you to this beautiful day, and thank you to metal detecting, and most importantly, thank you to you guys. We'll see you next time. Cheers. Look out, little ducks and big ducks, we're coming through. See you next time, guys.